Logic, Season 2, Episode 9. Sometimes just staying upright is the victory. Nobody writes songs about showing up. Nobody hangs a ribbon on the fence post you fixed for the third time this month. And nobody throws a parade for the rancher who fed cattle through a blizzard at 5 a.m. in the dark. But maybe they should. I'm Ann Dunbar, and this is Cowboy Logic. Today, we're going to talk about the kind of strength nobody sees coming, including you. Life, like most lives, isn't built on glory. It's built on showing up. The spectacular moments, the ones worth telling stories about, those are rare. What keeps a ranch alive is something much quieter. Something that doesn't photograph well and doesn't make for a great headline. It's reliability. It's the person who's still there on the hard days, still feeding the animals, still fixing broken things, and still moving. Not because they feel inspired, not because it's easy, but because the work needs doing and they're the one who does it. That's where real strength lives. Not in the heroic moments, in the steady ones, because steady is what lasts. I didn't start writing because I was brave. I started writing because I ran out of reasons not to. In the span of a few short years, I lost my husband, then my father, and finally my brother. 3 of the most important people in my life gone. And somewhere in the middle of all that grief, something shifted in me. Not dramatically and not in a lightning bolt moment, just a quiet realization that settled into my bones and wouldn't leave. Life is too short. Not a bumper sticker and not as something you say at a funeral and forget by Monday. As a truth I could no longer ignore. Because I had watched people I loved run out of time, and I had to ask myself, what was I doing with mine? So I started writing again, not with a plan, and not with confidence, and not with any real belief that I would become anything. I had a full-time job. I still do. The bills didn't stop because I was grieving, and the world didn't slow down and give me space to figure out who I was becoming now. So I took one day at a time. Some days that meant 200 words on a lunch break, and some days it meant one paragraph after a full day of work when every sensible part of me just wanted to collapse on a couch. Some days it meant just opening the document and looking at it, reminding myself it was still there. I remember sitting there, staring at the screen, the cursor blinking back at me like it was waiting, and I had nothing to give. No energy, no inspiration, and just pure unadulterated stubbornness. And that was enough. I want you to sit with that for a moment, because I think we dismiss it too quickly. That was enough. Not as an excuse and not as a settling, but as a genuine truth. Because on the days when you have nothing left but the refusal to stop, that refusal is the work. That stubbornness is the strength. I wasn't heroic and I wasn't inspired every day. I was just a woman who had watched too many people she loved run out of time and decided she wasn't going to waste any more of hers. That's what got my books written. Not talent or passion alone, loss, and decision that loss was going to mean something. Now, here's what I want you to hear today. Lasting is not the consolation prize. It is the prize. The person still standing when everything got hard. That's not someone who barely survived. That's someone who built something the easy days never could have built. Consistency creates what inspiration can't sustain, and the quiet, unglamorous act of continuing, of just not stopping, that's what changes a life. Heck, you don't have to be spectacular and you don't have to impress anyone. You just have to refuse to quit. So today's Cowboy Logic is this: you don't have to win every round. You just have to still be standing when the dust settles. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply last. Thanks for riding along, and I'll see you next week.